The following broadcast may contain explicit language and adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. The opinions expressed in this broadcast are those of the hosts, talent, and guests, and do not reflect the opinions, views, and standards of Pyro Media Enterprises, affiliates, subsidiaries, or its members. Welcome back, Mavericks. We are back with another episode of The Unusual Mavericks. I am your host and moderator, Kwame Speaks, joined by Just Dominic. We are back, y'all.
Hello. We are back on a schedule.
Yes.
So this is pretty awesome.
Listen, we apologize for the delays and the cancellations and the things.
Yes, we have multiple jobs.
We listen, honey. We work it out here. We work it out in these streets.
That's
but
right.
Thank you guys for hanging in there. We appreciate you. We have a lot to talk about today, Dominic. I am so much going on.
Yes.
So much going on. Flashy moments is what we're calling it today.
Oh, right.
Yes. So without further ado, before we even first of all, how are you, Dominic? How you doing?
I am fantastic, being stretched and pulled all over the place, but I'm handling it.
Not stretched and pulled. You don't want to be stretched and pulled. Oh, wow.
Well, sometimes that's a good thing, depending on who you are.
Okay. All right. The young girls don't know about that, but we're going to leave that alone.
Oh, yes, they do.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into the Maverick Alert, sir. All right, so we have a lot to talk about today. Let's just get right on into it. First and foremost, for those who do not know, CNN is under Warner Brothers. So who's in charge of Warner Brothers right now? That's right, David Zaslav. And what did he just do? That's right, fire this guy.
Whoever this guy is. Who is this guy?
This is Chris Lynch. Chris Lynch, it's Lynch, right? I think that's how you pronounce it. Chris Lynch. We broke it on Pyro Power Hour on Wednesday, but he was, the CEO of CNN. And so it looks like David Zaslav is not just worrying about DC, he's worrying about the entire Warner Brothers franchise, the entire Warner Brothers.
Remind me, was this guy problematic? Did he have issues?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well then, yay! I missed this story on Wednesday.
Yeah, so he is the reason. I feel he is the reason why Don Lemon was fired.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, so bye, girl. Good luck.
Oh, karma.
Won't listen?
How does she taste?
I don't know. I try my best not to experience that. But another thing that is coming up, not this week, but next week, we are getting ready to see The Flash. I don't think I've gotten my tickets yet, but we need to go grab them so we can go watch them, Just Dominic, because I want to see this movie. This movie is going to be everything. I still have a problem with the lead actor because of for obvious reasons, but it is what it is. I told you they weren't going to fire. They weren't going to fire him. I told you.
Well, no, the jury's still out. That's number one. And according to the reviews concerning this movie, yes, they are very positive overall. They rate like a B+. However, Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse just came out 2 weeks ago, and according to every critic that I have heard, they say Marvel does it slightly better. They will give Marvel an A. They will give this a B+. So we'll see. I mean, that's good for DC
that's
movie. Come on.
They are getting they're getting a lot of good reviews. So I'm
Very good reviews.
Yeah, and I don't listen to the critics too much because they be lying.
One thing that they did say is that at the end of the movie, this official movie, it is very open if Ezra is going to be the Flash, because there are multiple versions. So they can choose to follow a different Flash that is not connected to the Snyderverse so tightly. So I kind of disagree with you there, Kwame, on the fact that he still may be the Flash.
Well, I mean, this is supposed to be a Flashpoint movie anyway, so it could change.
Correct.
It won't even matter. Hey, Cupcake, thank you for joining, Queen.
Hey, Cupcake.
Yes, appreciate you. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. I just, I don't hold my breath when it comes to Warner Brothers and this Ezra Miller situation. So.
Well, I do like the way that Zaslav is lining things up. About 6 months ago, there was a horrible transition that we really criticized, and now that the waters are getting clearer, it feels a little bit better. This movie tested very well. Blue Beetle tested even better.
I cannot wait for Blue Beetle.
So yes, Blue Beetle is the movie that I'm actually looking forward to more than The Flash, even though The Flash is one of my favorite DC characters.
Now, question, I just want to make sure, because I can't remember if we discussed this or not, and forgive me if I'm repeating my question, but is Blue Beetle a part of the new chapters, or is it still a part of the old regime?
No, it's a part of the new.
Got it. Okay, so it's basically
it's the beginning of chapter one, or the Gunverse, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to Blue Beetle now. Like, let's be very clear about that. Like,
yes,
I think it's going to be quite epic.
Well, it sounds like a lot of people that were working on Marvel Phase 1 through 3 kind of came over with a gun. So a lot of people aren't just prepared for what's going to happen in the future of DC. It's going to feel more cinematic. If you look at this trailer, it feels like a Marvel trailer.
Yeah, it does. I will say that just based off of what I'm seeing, it looks like they put a lot of work into the cinematography and the stuff there. Like, because it's very crisp. Like, even me just looking at the minute things that I would normally see in a Marvel movie, it's giving very Marvel energy. It's giving very Marvel energy.
Well, that's because Disney had to cut. We covered this story a few months ago that Disney cut a certain percentage of their workforce. Where do you think those people are going to go?
They got to go somewhere.
Somebody who paying close to the same. Exactly. And so allegedly Gunn was like, hey, buddies, come on over to my new studio.
Right.
And so this is, according to James Gunn, this is the first look at what DC is going to look like in the future. And according to the story and how well this is written and tested in every screening so far, it was supposed to be an HBO Max movie, but it tested so well that they said, no, we have to take this to the big screen. It's like really killing it. And they did it for a low amount of money. I think HBO Max was like 120. We covered that as well, where their budget was. Well, they put more money into this movie when they said they would not. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because I have been a fan of his for quite a long time. And we love him on Young Justice as well. So I think a lot of Young Justice fans are really looking forward to this.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, something else that I really am super excited to talk about that I think is just going to be amazing. We actually just got finished watching some of the trailers and actually some other commentators that is in the comic world about this particular movie. Can we talk about Snyder's new Rebel Moon?
Okay, well, we're gonna. So I'm so happy that you want to talk about Rebel Moon because I thought we were only going to do Marvel and DC, and I really wanted to connect with Snyder because he has been such a DC fan favorite for so many years now.
Well, let's just say, I mean, we could still, I mean, I know our core shows or our core things is Marvel and DC, but I think that we if we want to tie it in for those who are being sticklers on it, then Snyder was a part of the DC universe, so that's why we're giving him leeway to talk about this.
Yes,
but I do think that all fandom, all geekdom, we should be talking about. And I want to let you guys know that Dominic and I will be doing some individual podcasts on different shows, like really deep diving, because we only have an hour once a week, and that's not really enough time to kind of deep dive into a lot of the shows and really kind of analyze it the way we want. So we'll be doing like breaking news and news regarding Marvel and DC on a weekly basis, but and then any kind of like major things,
maybe
like,
a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more, but for the most part, we're going to be deep diving into our audio podcast, which will be airing on Pyro Media Network's podcast and also Bullet and Flight Radio. So shout out to Pyro Media Productions and Bullet and Flight Productions for that collaboration. We appreciate all that you guys do to make things work. Now, Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon looks absolutely fantastic. According to the CEO of Netflix, who's really good friends with Snyder, and who took him after his sour departure from DC at the time under the old regime, that have now been all fired. By the way, now he has built his own version of his Star Wars universe. And so the hopes are that this new universe is going to be as big as Avatar, maybe Star Wars itself, which are all billion-dollar, we all know, are billion-dollar franchises.
So, now, one of the things that I took notice into the commentating from some of the other bloggers that is covering this is how there's going to be two parters, right? There's the first part is going to be, a little bit more exploratory, kind of getting us, engaged into the Rebel Moon universe and like getting us into the realm and getting us into that whole world. And then the second part is going to be a little more risque, a little more, more adult, so to speak. So what are your thoughts on those speculations?
Well, anyone who's ever followed Snyder's movies from 300, a lot of people don't realize Snyder did 300 before he was involved in anything DC. That was a groundbreaking movie. It was very bloody, very gory. Hey, Michelle. It was that movie was very bloody, very gory. It was erotic.
Yeah.
The way it was shot. So I'm not surprised that he is creating his own universe and he's going to implement all the things that we have clearly seen all throughout his franchises. DC as well was a darker take on Superman, which a lot of people didn't like, that he killed Zod by snapping his neck. And that is something classically Superman would not do. So Snyder, and then his zombie movies. Hello, have we seen his zombie movies? Yep. So yeah, this is definitely going to be far more adult. And I'm down with seeing the PG version because I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to sleep at night. I'll see the kiddie version.
I'm looking forward to both of them. Honestly, I think it's casted interestingly. I don't know a lot of these some of these are new breakout stars, but I'm really interested, and some of them are not. I've seen a lot of like this particular. I forget her name. Oh my god!
I know we've seen her in Marvel Universe.
Cast of Rebel Moon. Let's see. There we go. So we have she is Bae Dona. And I've seen her in a lot of different things. Like, I've seen her in Sense8, which is one of my favorite Netflix shows that has ever came out on Netflix. She was in A Girl at My Door. She was on Next Sanhi, Broker, Air Doll, The Silent Sea, Stranger, like a lot of different foreign films and stuff like that. So she's really a really dope South Korean actress. And I believe she was. Am I confusing her with who was on? I think she was on the superhero show that's on is it Boys? The Boys. I think she was on The Boys, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly. She's definitely, been in some really good projects too. So to see that Snyder snagged her, I'm not surprised.
No, Michelle, she's not a Muslim superhero. So I don't know the whole premise behind Rebel Moon. I'm gonna actually pull it up in a couple of seconds. But no, there it is. It says the premise about Rebel Moon. It's supposed to be about when a colony on the edge of the galaxy finds itself threatened by the armies of the tyrannical regent Belisarius. They dispatch a young woman with a mysterious past to seek out warriors from neighboring planets to help them take a stand. And that lead is, if I'm not mistaken, is her. And that is Sophia Botella.
Correct.
Sophia Botella, yes. And if you guys see who's in there, I believe how do you pronounce his name?
Jaimon Hansu.
Jaimon Hansu, yes, he is one of my favorite. He's very nice to look at, but one of my favorite actors on there. He does really, really well. So I'm interested in seeing what he does too. Also, Charlie Hunnam. If you guys are, oh my God, one of my favorite shows that he played in, Sons of Anarchy. If you guys are Sons of Anarchy fans, he was the lead on that. So he's going to be in this as well. So, and he was also in King Arthur, for those who follow. I didn't watch King Arthur. That wasn't kind of my thing, but
Shazam, he was in.
Was he in Shazam? He wasn't in Shazam.
Yes, he was. Jaimon Hansu, he was the wizard.
No, I'm talking about Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So, but he was also in Pacific Rim, and stuff like that. Jaimon Hansu was in everything. I don't think I can.
Yeah, we know him.
I think yeah. But I'm talking about Charlie Hunnam, and I don't think I have a picture of him on here. No, unfortunately, I do not. Yes, I do.
Me too, Michelle. I like him better than Idris Elba as well.
Absolutely. I love him better than Idris Elba. Yeah.
Then here we go with Ray Fisher. And anybody who saw the beautiful Cyborg and the Snyder cut of Cyborg had to fall in love with Ray Fisher. And I openly admit I fell in love with Ray Fisher.
Yeah, he is a phenomenal actor.
I'm glad to see he's working.
Yes, because we know what happened with that situation.
Yeah, it was a terrible situation that he had to go through. So I'm glad that people recognized racism when they saw it and called it out.
And also Michael Huisman, who I believe was in Game of Thrones, if I'm not mistaken. He looks familiar. I believe he was in Game of Thrones as well. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm confusing it with someone. Nope, he was in Game of Thrones. I was right. He played one of Khaleesi's generals. So that's interesting that he's in it as well. And let's see who else is in it. It's a pretty interesting cast. I was not expecting to see all of this, but I'm interested in all of these characters and how they how they play, how they're being interacted, or how they're going to interact with each other. The storyline. Yeah. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, the whole premise of this universe I've been really looking forward and talking about for the past year. So this, I believe, debuts on Netflix at the end of December. I think December 22nd or 25th. I think it's the 22nd. So right before Aquaman debuts, actually.
Which is very interesting. And I'm glad you brought Aquaman up, because Aquaman, there's another what is the other show or the other movie that's coming out at the same time as Aquaman at the end of the year? Oh, Color Purple. The Color Purple.
Yes.
It's another Warner Brothers movie. They are technically supposed to be debuting on the same day, which is Christmas Day, and I just don't see it working. I believe that the Color Purple.
I disagree.
I don't think it would. Let me not say it's going to happen. Like, if they really want to watch it, you're going to have the diehard DC fans. But the Color Purple is going to be Warner Brothers Wakanda Forever. Like, the amount of people that vote for the DC.
Disagree. I disagree with that. Only because you have a huge population of DC fans that probably have never even seen any version of the Color Purple because they're not interested in that.
Yeah.
So those are the people that will head to and be sure to be in the DC line. You know, an African American story about oppression and abuse is a, you know, more of a boutique type of story that is special to a group of people that may get some bleed through and crossover. And that is what I think is going to happen. More Black people and people who are interested in African American studies and stories will go see The Color Purple. But there are a lot of folks that we know that have no interest in going to see anything related to a story about a Black woman.
So here's why I wanted to finish my thought. Here's why I think The Color Purple is going to outshine almost every single movie during that time, because it's not just about a story about oppression. It's about a classic story that has really been ingrained in our culture for a long time. And so everybody who is, you know, one of us, you know, has seen or, you know, seen the original Color Purple. And if you haven't, you want to, you know, it's kind of like you get your black card taken away. And so the amount of power that it took, there was people who are not into Marvel or into the Marvel universe, and they only went to go see Black Panther because of its African roots, its Afrocentricness. And so we wanted to show that movies like that can be represented and also make money. And so I think that that's going to be the same thing that's going to happen with The Color Purple. I'm not saying that it's going to be bad for Aquaman. I'm not saying that at all. I think you know, you have your diehard DC fans, but I think if it would be smarter for them to either move it up or move it back and not have it on the same day, because it's not, I don't think it's going to do well if it has to compete with its own. The same thing that I said with Black Adam and Avatar. I didn't think that was smart for them to release it right on the same time as Black Panther and right before Avatar. You know, so I thought that either you should have did it earlier or did it after, you know, all of that. So, I mean, there's we all have our speculations. We all have our thoughts on it, but that's just mine on that. Let's see what Michelle is saying in here. It says, I don't like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. They need somebody to really make that character pop. Ooh, I don't know about that, Michelle.
You gonna get cut with a statement like that by Kwame.
Hold on now, not by Jason Momoa. Michelle says, I hope the musical aspect of The Color Purple will not take away from the true spirit of Alice Walker's work. Interesting. Well,
and see, again, that's a niche market is what I'm talking about. So we'll see.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick commercial. Wait, do we have anything else Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a couple of different things that we want to kind of knock out before we get into the rest of the stuff that we have planned for the next couple episodes. We're actually going to cut this show short, only because there's not really a lot of news going on this week or in the past couple of weeks for Marvel and DC, other than what we talked about in our Maverick alert. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing to all of the stuff that is going on here. We appreciate all of that you do. But hang on, we'll be right back. See you on the other side. This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletandflightradio.com. Bullet and Flight Radio. Your story, our station. we're back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are back. We are back. We are back. Thank you guys for joining in. We appreciate you guys. If you're just tuning in, please do us a quick favor. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And subscribe if you haven't. And share so other people can know about what's going on in the comic universe and the Blerd world. For those who don't know, it's the Black Nerds. Yes. All right, I want to talk about something that really quickly before we go.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Dominic. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to acknowledge something that Michelle said in the comment section about Jason Momoa and a new kind of role. So according to James Gunn, they're looking at making him into Lobo, which is a biker dude who is just as strong as Superman. So if that happens, I think that a lot more people will really like. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, Cupcake, make sure you're safe. Don't listen. It's storming bad here, so it's hard for me to hear. If I have to jump off, I'll catch the replay. Good stuff, though, guys. Thanks, Cupcake, for supporting us.
Thank you.
Be safe. We don't want you out there getting electrocuted, go up. Yes, honey. Yes, we don't want that. All right. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, that's something that has been such a big deal, and I didn't even get a chance to put it into. Did I get a chance to download it? No, I did not. Of course not. But I want to talk about, for those who don't know, let me see if I can grab a picture of it. But Miles Morales' Spider-Man has really kind of taken off. It's Spider-Man Into the Multiverse. And there was an article that I saw called, that said the MCU doesn't deserve Miles Morales. And so the plans for a live action Miles Morales movie after the Spider-Man Across the Spideyverse is a worrying reality check. And so the conversation is, why are, after them shelving it, after them not giving it the type of airplay and the type of advertising that they did for everything else, Kevin Feige, just really underrated the Spider-Man Across the Multiverse, but now it is one of their biggest animates. It is literally one of the most successful Spider-Man spinoffs that they've had, and it's frustrating because this is what they do to all of us, right? To all of our movies.
This is the point.
They did it with Blade. They did it with all of the stuff or whatever, and so it's frustrating when you see that, and then it's like, oh, now you're going to give us what we've been asking for all this time. So, what are your thoughts on that, Dominic?
This is what I'm always talking about concerning Marvel. See, I love the kind of content that Marvel puts out over DC, but there's a lot of racism and historical racism involved with both companies, but more so still to this day with Marvel. They don't care for the gay characters. They don't care for any female characters. They don't care for black characters. We've covered the story about the executives who have gotten fired. Some of the executives who really pushed against releasing any black role, any of these black movies that have been trying to get made. But he is still one of the major shareholders at this company. Yeah. So though I love to see these characters, we're still making these hooded white people rich. Absolutely. Because they do it begrudgingly. It's like, well, we'll give you Negroes what you want. Yeah. But, they do it begrudgingly. But then, of course, they're going to capitalize on making a profit off of us still.
Yeah. And what's frustrating to me, Dominic, about this is that at the end of the day, it's like, we've been telling you that this is this is what we need, and this is what we're asking for, and these stories are actually dope. And then you sit there and you just play in our faces, and then when you realize, oh, this is actually making money and it's resonating with the audience, you wonder why. This is exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, like having a black Spider-Man is something that we've asked. First of all, it makes more sense for the Spider-Man to be black in the first damn place because of where Spider-Man is supposed to be located at. He's supposed to be in Queens. Okay.
Well, besides that, here we are again with the multiverse. Miles Morales was always biracial. He always existed as he is, just as T'Challa has always existed as he is, just as Storm. Just as so many other characters that are not being highlighted within the Marvel universe. That's one thing, though. Even though DC, their movies overall kind of were like up and down in regards to quality, overall, they embrace diversity, even in their TV shows.
Yeah.
You know, people talked about the CW, but it has earned billions of dollars right now. And it was a very diverse show. And that is what the world looks like. So they did it right in that regard. And that is what people have been asking for from Marvel. And it is a slow moving. We're still like in the 1960s, it feels sometimes.
It's ridiculous, and it's really frustrating. And then they wonder why we get, you know, they have all this backlash.
And let me say, they just recast General Ross. The actor William Hurt is an Academy Award-winning actor who passed away, but he has been playing that character for quite a while. Mm-hmm. They recast him with Harrison Ford like that. This is what I was asking for Black Panther, so we could continue to see the story about this African king.
Yeah.
But they buried that sucker.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those who are just tuning in, we're talking about the Miles Morales situation and what's going on in the backlash that Marvel is getting from Blerds and Black nerds. And so, you know, they are talking about giving us or doing a live action.
10 years from now.
But it's gonna be like, it's too late, girl. Like it's you could do it in a year. You're just choosing not to. And I understand, or not a year, a couple of years, but you're just choosing not to. And I think you're gonna you're trying to see if this whole Miles Morales thing is gonna continue to flourish.
One other point that I want to make is that Sony Pictures helped put in the money to make this because Disney/Marvel would not put enough money into this animated film to show us what is out today.
Yeah.
So they didn't even want to put forth all the money like they put forth towards the other pictures. Yeah. Sony stepped in and said, hey, this is a great story. I believe it's an African-American writer even wrote the script, the screenplay for this. And so it's just very interesting to see that another studio had to step up to get this animated movie done.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on you, Marvel.
Yeah, there's in this excerpt from Polygon.com, and this article was written by Diego Nicolas Aguelo. It says in here, Into the Spideyverse was initially an independent breakout from that corporate connection machine. But the team behind Across the Spideyverse wasn't lucky enough to escape the crossover curse. In a vacuum, that movie's cameos can be seen as welcoming jokes for fans and a tribute to Spider-Man's media longevity. But when you look at the plans Marvel Studios and the Walt Disney Company are laying out for the next few years, these references are worrying a little, or these references are a worrying reality check about where Miles Morales could fit into the cinematic conglomerate and the identity his story could lose in the process. That's sad.
That's reality.
That's sad. I love Black Spider-Man. Yes, Michelle, for sure. But I just wanted to bring that up before we ended the show because I think that that's something that we need to kind of really talk about. And yes, they do go into this article. I will. I'm actually going to put the link to the article in here in the comments so you guys can see it, because it is definitely something that I think you guys should read and check it out and really just kind of deep dive into it because it is something that it's really been an issue for a lot of Black-led movies, Black superheroes specifically, and I think overall, it just in
everything.
And everything, as opposed to like, you know,
food, restaurants, everything.
We've always had issues, which is why people are wondering why the Writers Guild is having their issues and doing a strike, and soon to be at the end of the month, SAG-AFTRA is going on strike.
It seems
you ain't gonna have nobody.
Well, that's all right. They'll get it together. They won't have a choice.
have to.
That's right.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Definitely be on the lookout and follow PyroMediaNetwork.com on all social media platforms so you can check out when we're going to go live. We're probably going to, when we're going to start issuing out podcasts. We're probably going to start doing that in the next couple of weeks. We'll let you know. We'll keep you posted. But it'll be more deep dive, more longer episodes, and probably episode reviews. We'll probably watch the episode with you guys. We'll let you guys know all about that. But we really appreciate you guys checking it out. Michelle says AI chat will take over. Ciao. That's a conversation for another day. All right, we don't got that type of time. Do you got anything else, Just Dominic, before we go?
No, sir, I don't.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys. We appreciate all that you do. And we will see you guys on the next one. And until then, stay unusual.
Stay unusual.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Pyro Media Network's YouTube channel for more awesome content. Plus, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live or upload new videos. Visit PyroMediaNetwork.com today, not just to check out our incredible roster of talented creatives, but also to gain access to exclusive bonus material available only to our Pyro fam. Show your support for this Black-owned indie network by donating today. Help us keep igniting brands everywhere.